I'm Linda with Right to Life of Central California, and I'm going to do an interview with one of the women that my coworker and I had a chance to have an interaction with. And I want to take you on the journey that we've had from beginning to end. I'm not going to give your name because I know that you want to remain anonymous, and I completely respect that. The situation that happened was difficult, and I don't want it to be any more difficult. And I totally appreciate you taking the time and being brave and willing to talk about this. So let's go back to the day that we met. I remember seeing you coming out, and I could kind of tell by your face that you were frustrated and upset. So I remember just asking you, what's going on? Are you here for an abortion? And I remember you just saying bluntly, yeah, I've got 2 other kids under the age of 4. This is too much for me. I can't do this. And so I was wondering if you could just talk about how you were feeling when we first approached, and then going into the building, and then.
It was a very emotional time for me, and I remember that I was an IUD. I was my youngest was 9 months old, and the other one was a year and a half. And I'm like, I out of nowhere I was pregnant, and I'm like, the next day, I went over there. I'm like, I'm getting abortion for sure. I don't like. It's gonna be all gone. I'm just gonna walk in, walk out. It never happened. I remember when I was driving, I was like trying to convince myself that I'm just gonna go walk in there, get out, and it would be like it never happened, because it was, an accident, and it will never, come back to me or anything. And I was so emotional, so tired, and so in a shock, I think. And then I remember when I went there, there was a sign on the door. It says, "Come back in 10:30." I remember the time, it was 10. And then I'm like, okay, let me just hang around. And I turned, I seen 2 beautiful women. It was you and Monica. And I'm like, what are they doing here? You had a flyer in your hands. I never had an experience with Planned Parenthood. I never went to that place, or I didn't know what you do or who you are. And I'm like, let me talk to them for a little bit, so I don't think. I didn't want to, sit with myself. And yeah, so I'm like, let me just go talk with them a little bit till they open. And I remember your face when I told you, yeah, I'm here for abortion. And you're like, can we talk a little bit? And I'm like, oh, why does she care? Why does it matter to her? And I'm like, okay, let's talk. And you told me, I see that you're not very sure about it. And I'm like, don't talk to me out of it, please. It's the last thing I want to hear. And then I'm like, let's just do it. And the thing, what you said to me, it was when you asked me, what are you scared of? Why do you want to get abortion? Why you're scared from having a baby? What's gonna happen if you have the baby? My reasons were, I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to find a job, and then I'm like, no, I still can do that with kids. I know it's challenging, but I don't have the right to take someone's life for myself. I always remember that day, and I'm always glad that I met you at the right time. Every time I look at my baby now, I'm like, oh, Linda, I love you so much.
Yeah, I love you too. I mean, I'm lucky I met someone who was willing to be open to hear my crazy approach. And just, I think we're both lucky. I mean,
I am very lucky that I met you at that time. I can't imagine my life. How would it be if I did do that? The regret I'm gonna, I regret that I went there. Can you imagine? Every time I look at my baby, I regret. I'm like, what was I thinking? I went to, this beautiful baby, what did he do to me? So I go there to make me go there, I don't know how it would how it would be if I, you
Well,
know,
you had to go there because that's how we met. That's how
yeah,
we became friends. So I hope that this is the beginning of many interactions and opportunities for you to share your life. Because I know from having a similar experience that putting it out there is a step in the direction of a sort of healing. Because I know that feeling of, oh, I thought about it. And luckily, neither of us have to have the experience of abortion, but there's still that thought in the back of your mind where you're thinking, how could I have ever thought of it? And honestly, I feel like one of the best ways to address that is just to address it and talk to other people about it. I just want to close this up and say again that I so appreciate you being willing to come forward and talk.
I love you. I love how you never judged me, how you talked to me, how you loved me. You just loved me and you just supported me the best way I would ever needed.